As a musical genius once said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Now, it was in 1984 that Jamaican reggae great Don Carlos and his support group, the Gladiators, sang Blackout in the Ghetto, one of the greatest songs from one of the best. There was always a smile on my face back then whenever I listened to it, because the situation was no different in Nigeria. Carlos only sang how it affected the ghetto residents of Kingston. It was the life he knew. So when I listened on Sky News on the Sunday morning, 14th of July, 2019, that New York experienced a major blackout that affected at least 77,000 subscribers in Manhattan, same smile came on my face, but in a different way. This time, this made world news. The last such blackout was in 1977. Jennifer Lopez, also known as J-Lo, was interrupted mid-concert. Traffic lights went out and common citizens took to directing traffic. Subway stations were dark. The governor came out to make a statement. 5 hours later, and there was light. In Nigeria, we refer to these New Yorkers as ajebotas. In other words, pampered softies. Here in Nigeria, it's not just ghetto blackouts, it's all-out blackout. No one is spared, rich or poor. The better off resort to owning diesel power generators, power batteries powered by inverters, anything that can supplement power. We've been doing this all through the 58 plus years of Nigeria's independence, and it may not really change for the next 50 at least. Whereas the world may not be a ghetto, apologies to George Benson, Nigeria is certainly close to being one large ghetto of 200 million people. Look around here, nothing works. Gutters are open, roads bad, no hospitals, schools or places of refuge, expensive church auditoria, private jets parked in substandard airports, presidential motorcades 50 cars long. Wait at the gates to the exclusive Banana Island in Ikoyi in Lagos for 5 minutes and count how many cars live in convoy with armed policemen in tow. If Banana Island is not a ghetto, then its inhabitants largely live with a ghetto mentality. And that sucks. The longer the sun shines in Nigeria, the happier we are. It's the free light we have been given, and no corrupt government can take that away from us. And whenever there is a bright or full moon, it is such a wonderful bonus. I remember having my children fall asleep in the garden in years back, and then having to carry them into bed one after the other. Call it romanticization, but that is the mentality that gets you through ghetto lifestyle imposed on the entire nation. If you want to know how beautiful a home is, open the doors and windows, let in light and fresh air. That is real life. The ghetto mentality of the air-conditioned prison that many call home or workplace is a sad trap that afflicts most of those who can actually afford it. So while there are economic hardships that result from power shortage, there are lifestyle choices that can improve our lives and reduce depression and sadness. All right, that's enough. Since we have at least another 50 years of blackouts, let's live healthy and free. Let's shake off the ghetto mentality.
So let me give you a high five, Chuka.
Thank you, finally.
And for atomic energy. That's the track you started with.
Yes,
now.
that's right.
Right, but I mean, look, do you want me to start? Okay, I'll start. First of all, I laughed, I smiled. I loved it when J-Lo got all upset, saying, oh, my concert. And I'm like, eh. And they say, over 77,000 people were in a blackout for 4 or 5 hours. And, you know, the big lights of Times Square, the big buildings was dark. And I'm like, really?
Really?
Is that all? As in how? As per waiting?
Yeah.
You people are blessed. In fact, you know what we always say? It's because you have water. If you didn't have water, you won't have time to worry about this thing. So I love what you said, and this is the thing that I want to bring out of it. You mentioned something about open your windows, what'd you say? Open your windows, let in light.
Sunlight coming.
I don't have curtains in my home. And that's one of the choices that I made when I lived. I refused to live as a prisoner in a place that I love so much.
Poetic, right?
Yeah, it is. And I'm so touched. Honestly, I think for me, I'll say that what we have now, and the leadership, they say, of any nation is a reflection of its people. it's sad what we're experiencing. I think we deserve more.
Yes,
of course.
You know, we deserve better. We have look around. Nigerians are doing great things around the world, and
And even
we
in
shouldn't be.
Nigeria.
You know, we had the first TV station. We had first in Africa. What happened to all of those achievements? You know, we need to really look back. Again, it takes us back to family. You know,
Yeah.
we probably have to
Yeah.
do the reset from family, where we set values. You know.
I was going to even add, I think it was the governor of Port Harcourt, was it Rotimi that insisted that they Rotimi Amici bring the fences down in Port Harcourt?
I had no
that,
idea.
That part of where you were saying we live like prisoners,
Yes.
and I completely agree. Because when I was growing up, we don't have, you know, high fences and all of those things. You're able to, so because now the neighborhood I live in, somebody died there 4 days.
Oh my.
All right.
Nobody knew.
Oh, in Lagos?
In Lagos here, nobody knew the man was dead. You know,
He lives alone.
he lives
no
alone.
maid.
No, you know, he lives alone in the home. So, you know, that part of us living
Together.
as prisoners,
Good neighbors.
you know, I really love that part. Lifestyle, because me, I'm very particular about the part of lifestyle you talked about.
Yes.
How many playgrounds, how many places do we have that children, for instance, in a community
play.
can come and
Children
play?
can play.
You know, we don't have any of those things.
I love your write-up. I think it's really, you know, it's poetic, and I think it's sort of like a vehicle for the message you're conveying, because it gets you in a nostalgic mood. You know, I found myself remembering, you know, when we grew up and how we used to sit on the veranda and listen to stories, you know, under the moonlight.
You grew up in a compound, right?
Let's leave that.
No,
let me
there's
make
a
my
reason
point.
why I
though.
asked.
I'm coming. I still want to make my point. But so with all that in my mind, I was sort of saying to myself, when you talk of ghetto mentality, it really boils down to the fact that you can, with your own mind, you know, it all starts from how you see yourself and you see others. Like talking about communal living, where I live now, a block of flats. The lady there, I'm so, you know, I admire her because she came in after I got there. But she's really made an effort to form a group, and she invites people to tea, and she does all these things that has created more of a communal
You have to be deliberate
environment.
now, yeah.
Than when I got there. You know, now you can actually walk in someone's home and have a coffee with them because of what she's deliberately done. She's made sure she has repeated events all her children's birthdays, and she has lots of children. She invites us to them, and we come, and she's a very hospitable person. Her home is always
Can deal with
open.
the block of
But she's
flats.
made us, and we have so many people from different backgrounds, but because of her, she's like a uniting point.
So there are genuine reasons why people want to be cautious. You know, in the past, there were issues of
Kidnappers.
kidnapping, and you know, so these are some of the things we might need to go back to the basics. Provide for that average person. If the poverty level is this much, honestly, you can't sleep with both eyes closed.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
And the minute we begin to think about the next person, how would help that, not for ourselves, not for them, but for ourselves, then we can sleep in peace.
And
Well, it's interesting how talking about a revolution sometimes sounds like a whisper. UWA is not just a fresh face and is out to reverse an apparent adverse effect of social media revolution after the break.